smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Women host, women guests, women all week long in focus. And the theme for 2023 for International Women's Day, Embrace Equity, Embrace Equity. Our guest this morning is the CEO of Reengineering Wellbeing Consultancy. She is Cassandra Powder. She's the author of her book, Survived, the Autobiography. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Rhea. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you on our program this morning, Cassandra. It's my pleasure to have you here, particularly to talk about this book. Now, we had you on quite recently, different issue, but today we're talking about your book. Let's get right into things. I survived. Why did you feel the need to write a book? And you tell us about what it is you survived.
I survived domestic violence. I survived debt. I survived stagnancy. I survived losing myself and forgetting my mission as a woman of God and a range of other things. I survived, and I'm grateful to be here today.
And why did you feel the need to write the book? Why not? Because I mean, you can talk. You're an excellent. You've been given the gift of gab. I mean, you sing. I've known you. In fact, before this book, I know Cassandra. The name Cassandra Powder was synonymous with singing, ministering. But now, author. Why did you feel the need to write the book?
I needed to write a book because the information was quite potent for the next generation, and especially, I call it this generation. It took a lot from me because I was ashamed for a lot of years because everybody know Cassandra out there singing, quite calm, anointed, and everything else. But what was going on behind the scenes to really, as they call it, stir up the engine, to give Cassandra what was necessary to go out on a stage and deliver what God would have her deliver. No one knew. So it was important, after I healed, to come to the forefront and let other people know that it is important to understand your history. It is important to listen to the elders, listen to their stories, and to so ensure that the red flags that they would most likely tell you that they have been through, to try to avoid them.
So this is what, is it a testimony? How would you term the book? Is it a testimony? And let me tell the viewers here, I just mentioned to her, now I have a copy of this and I've read the book. And there were points, even by the second chapter, the first chapter sort of warmed you up to this is who you are. But by the second chapter, my jaw was on the ground. My jaw was literally on the ground because you started talking about some of what you'd been through, and I just found it, because you look at the Cassandra Powder that you know now, and the thing is, not that you're masking, but to know that you've been through all of this and you're still alive to tell the tale.
Well, I can tell you for sure how I survived all of that is in the book is through worship. Through worship and through going deeper and deeper in the realms of the spirit and grasping to the source of my strength non-stop. That is how I survived. Everything that is in that book, I survived.
Who was your inspiration? Who inspired you, even as you were writing?
My children. It was important that my children will have, I call it a handbook, right? Because I am soon to start the next volume of that book, right? It's 3 parts. And my children were my greatest inspiration because the choices that I made a long life journey, I don't want my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and generations to come to have to walk the walk that I walked. So it was important for me to document. And I always tell people, my mother went to the grave with so much wealth. And I made a decision, along the way and everything that I've been through. The prophets would come, you need to write. When they ministered to me, you need to write this one. Along the, a lot of people came, you need to write. But as I said, I couldn't write because I didn't want people to see that part of me. I didn't want people to know that part of Cassandra. I want to encourage teachers, educators, Bible schools, social services. It's not that I want to make money, but you need to get that book.
They need to get a copy. And I'd say parents, parents who are having challenges with their children. And that was what you said to me when you gave me that copy of the book. You said, you pronounced that, I don't know if you remember. Ria, I'm praying that this book, you don't remember, do you? Ria, I'm praying that this book is going to help heal the relationship with your children. That is going to bring healing to the situation. And I'll tell you this, it caused me to see things in a very different light. All right? And I'm not going to, you've got to get yourself a copy. That's what I'll say to you. You've got to get yourself a copy of the book. Now, even as your children were inspiring you, were there points in the book when you felt that you were being a little too raw, too real for them? Were you able to handle some of what you'd been through, telling them about it, how they view you after as mommy? Was there a concern?
Before I went into the last phase of that book, I called my children. And I told them, I said, here's what. This book needs to be written and published and people need to get it. And I told my children, I said, this is what is in the book, that is what is in the book. My daughter still has not read the book because she calls me crazy, right? So she still has not mustered up the strength.
Good morning.
She still hasn't mustered up the strength to read the book as yet. Neither Joshua, but Marvin.
Marvin read the book.
Marvin read the book. And he has been silent still. He has a greater, appreciation for his mother.
Mommy, yes.
Right? But I had my concerns before I published a book. One of the things that happened along the journey, I had to go back to my children and apologize. One by one, I had to apologize because writing the book was very therapeutic for me. I had to visit or revisit experiences that was not so nice. And I remembered that if my children understand or read this part of it, right, and see how it connects with things that they would have been going through because of my fallout as a parent, I called them, I put Joshua to sit, called Candice, I said, listen, I am apologizing for the hurt because some of the things that we do, we're not even aware, the friends that we keep, the voices that we listen to.
Who has our ear.
The habits, that's right, the habits that we adapt. We don't understand as parents that we bring predators into our children's lives. And I had to apologize to my children. So yes, they say I'm crazy and everything else. My children is just watch me now and just shake their head. That's about it.
Cassandra, was there a point in documenting where you felt as though this would never materialize? And let me just I want our cameraman to just pick up a nice shot of the book here. This is the book here. I Survived. This is it here. Doesn't she? Yeah, I got it straight. I got it right there. I Survived, an autobiography by Cassandra Powder. All right? Was there a point when you felt as though this would never happen?
Yes, to some extent, because I have been writing and jotting down for about 3-4 years or something like that, and watching at it and saying, "You mad, Cassandra? You going and tell people that? You understand how would they view you?" But as I said, healing is so important, and part of healing is getting past pride. And God had to get me past pride for me to understand that my experiences is not for me alone. My experiences is for other people to get over, to transcend. You understand? For other people to develop and mold into what God has designed them to be, powerful men and women of destiny. So, yeah.
Let me just read a little portion here from chapter 1. I vividly recall that as early as 5 years old, my ability to see beyond the natural realm had been activated. I would see dark spirits enter a room, and no one else could see them but me. At that time, I thought there must have been something wrong with me, and I felt alone because no one ever believed me. I had no idea, however, that 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 what I had and still possess to this day was actually a gift from God, and that He would later use for His glory. Now that just that excerpt there, viewers, takes you down a path into some of what God allowed Cassandra to see even as a child, not knowing then that that was going to be the beginning of purpose on her life. I guess you didn't tell them first, no one would believe you. They'd think you were crazy. And they'd find a home for crazy kids to send you off to ship you off to.
Sometimes I would tell my mom, I say, "Mommy, look the man there."
And there's
look,
nobody
and
there.
He said, "Sandra, stop it, shut up. You always seeing something." I said, "Mommy, but look the man, he coming." And I would be burying my head in my mother's lap because I'm seeing the thing there. I'm seeing the creature there.
Where can persons get a copy of this? Where can persons get a copy of this book, Cassandra?
It's available on Amazon in hard copy and ebook. And also, it's also available at Educators up by Tambourine Square, and at books and offices, supplies, upstairs arenas. It's also available.
All right, let me say here, get a copy of this and purchase one for a friend if you can. Purchase it for a friend, all right? It's an excellent gift to give someone. So I want to thank you for being on the program with us this morning.
It was my pleasure being here.
And as you said, Volume 2 will be coming soon.
God's willing, before the end of the year.
Wow, sooner than we thought.
Yeah.
Well, all the best to you, to your family. Definitely. So I guess we'll see what the rest of the year holds for you.
Definitely. So thanks again.
Thank you so much. Viewers, wow, lots more coming up on the program. Abby Taylor, my guest host, is going to be back with us just after the break. So share the live, share the live, share the live.